Electricity is the backbone of national development. It fuels industries, it powers homes, hospitals, and so on. But Nigeria's journey towards reliable power generation has been, well, anything but straightforward.
But how did we get here?
And today we want to dive deep into how we got here. Today, we're going to trace the history of electricity generation in Nigeria. Today, we're going to explore how political regimes and key figures shaped our journey, where we are now, and what we need to do to take Nigeria where it needs to go. Well, it all began in 1896 with the British colonial administration that installed the first electricity generation plant in Lagos, Nigeria. But the goal was very simple. It wasn't to provide electricity for Nigerians or to empower the nation. No, it was to serve the colonial administration, leaving Nigerians in the dark. Governor Alfred Moloney approved this project, but there was no interest or effort in expanding the project to provide electricity access for the local people, Nigerians. In 1929, it expanded into the Nigerian Electricity Supply Company. Was it now to serve the Nigerian people? No. The Nigerian Electricity Supply Company, or NESCO, was expanded to serve the mines, the tin mines in Jos. Once again, electricity generation and distribution served the interests of, well, pockets, not the people. Some Nigerian leaders spoke up, like Sir Kitoyi Ajasa, and Oba Adeniji Adele advocated for broader access, providing electricity for the Nigerian people, but their voices went unheard. But around 1951, when the momentum for independence was becoming stronger, the ECN was founded. The idea of the ECN, or the Electricity Corporation of Nigeria, was for the first time to centralize electricity generation and distribution. It was figures like Sir John Macpherson and Chief S.L. Edu who pushed for greater public access, and this set the stage for Nigeria's post-independence power sector. Fast forward to 1972 under General Yakubu Gowon. In 1972, the Electricity Corporation of Nigeria merged with the Niger Dams Authority to form, well, NEPA, Nigerian Electric Power Authority, which, well, later became known as Never Expect Power Always. During this period, with a lot of oil money flowing, it was possible to build dams like the Kainji Dam and Jeba Dam. Well, in 1972, with NEPA established, marked the actual beginning of Nigeria's national electricity grid. NEPA's chairman, Dr. Olusegun Olunloyo, at the time, really tried to expand the national grid, but, well, it was plagued with a lot of accusations of corruption, and people really began to never expect power always. This actually happened for two reasons. There was a lot of mismanagement, and Nigeria's population was growing really rapidly. The population was growing much faster than the infrastructural development for the national grid. In 2005, President Olusegun Obasanjo tried to attract private investments to NEPA by unbundling it into the Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PHCN, as it is still called today. He did this by implementing the Electric Power Sector Reform Act. The idea was that by involving the private sector, improved transparency could be achieved, more access to funding. The idea of privatizing NEPA was to improve its efficiency, management, and to attract more investments. However, Minister Bat Naji, who championed these reforms, was heavily criticized for favoritism and corruption. The regime was also accused of very weakly regulating the sector, allowing a lot of things go unchecked. People like Gani Fawemi and Femi Falana demanded for transparency of the process, calling out inflated contracts and stalled projects, which continued to reoccur. Today, Nigeria has an installed capacity of about 13,000 megawatts, but only functions with about 4 to 5,000 megawatts, which is less, a lot less than 50% of the installed capacity. This is largely due to inefficiencies and technical losses, and so Nigerians continue to experience power losses frequently. In 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari launched the Siemens Presidential Power Initiative. This initiative proposed to modernize the electricity infrastructure in Nigeria. Key figures like Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz of TCN and Joe Keza, the then CEO of Siemens, were leading these efforts. But progress has been very slow and stalled, and the challenges continue to persist. The roadblocks are very clear. Number one, corruption. Number two, aging infrastructure. Number three, regulatory inefficiencies, and number four, over reliance on fossil fuels. Activists like Omoyele Sowore and the Africa Development Bank have emphasized bold action in these areas. So, what do we really need to do to move past the constant collapse of our national grid and unreliable power supply? Well, here are a few of my thoughts. Number one, we need more transparency and accountability. Nigeria needs to set up independent monitoring committees to track how funds are allocated and spent to ensure that we no longer have abandoned or partially completed projects. Number two, we need to modernize our infrastructure. We need to upgrade our aging transmission lines and adopt modern technology to reduce transmission losses and other losses. Number three, we need to diversify our energy sources. We need to invest in renewable energy, especially solar, while looking into things like wind and biomass. Number four, we need to allow more decentralized solutions. We need to develop micro and off grid solutions for rural communities, allowing them to generate independent power supply to meet their needs. Number five, we need to encourage more public private partnerships like Tony Elumelu's Transcorp Power and Siemens to allow them drive large scale investments in Nigeria's power sector. So, starting from colonial power plants to our current challenges with today's modernization efforts. Nigeria's power generation journey has had its own struggles, but we can still build a power sector that not only meets the needs of every Nigerian, but also lights the way for a brighter economic future. Our story has had its ups and downs. Now let's act for a brighter future.